Hello and welcome back. In our last two lectures, we have gone through the ChatGPT endpoint. We have introduced the two major endpoints for tasks. The first one is the task completion, and the second one is the check completion endpoint. We have also compared the differences between two of them. In this lecture, we are going to actually write code and leverage the endpoint programmatically. Before that, I would like to give a brief reminder of our project structure. So in the end, we're going to build a customer service chatbot. In the front end, we will have two text boxes, where on the left is the one where the user can input their customer review. Once the generate button has been clicked, this review will be sent to this review will send to ChatGPT API with a formatted prompt. This review will be formatted into a prompt and sent to ChatGPT. We will get response from ChatGPT in a JSON format, where it consists of two keys. The first one is the sentiment of this review, and the second one is the response. In the backend, we are going to use Python. As the time of this recording, the current ChatGPT API provides two languages support. The first one is JavaScript, and second one is Python. Throughout the whole project, we're going to use Python as our backend. And now let's get into our Python setup. To set up our Python project, first we just create a directory, and all of our files and the project will be reside inside this directory. I created a directory named customer service bot. You can also create that on your own laptop. Also, I have opened this directory using my IDE. The IDE I've been using is a PyCharm. This one works for me. You can definitely choose whatever IDE that works, such as Visual Studio, Sublime, or even just simply text. To start off a Python project, the first thing we need to do is create a virtual environment. Virtual environment helps up to virtual. So what is virtual environment? Virtual environment helps us to independent. So what is a virtual environment? Virtual environment helps to What is virtual environment? What is virtual environment? Virtual environment helps to isolate the dependencies. For example, there might be cases in a same laptop, in your same computer, you might have one project that requires the version of a package 1.1, while you might have another project that requires a package, the very same package to be on a different version, maybe 1.20. On the same time, you might have this package also installed on your operating system with version 2.00. So virtual environment is going to separate all these different project environments. In the very same operating system, you can create multiple different. In the same operating system, you can create multiple different virtual environments, and all these environments are independent of each other. And that is only one of the many mirrors of having a virtual environment. So in this case, we are going to set up a virtual environment. Let's get back to our coding. To set up a virtual environment, you will need a package called virtualenv. If you haven't yet installed this package, you can use pip. Pip is a package manager of Python. Just pip install virtual inf, and that's all you need to set up. Since in my case I have already have this package installed, so I will just do. So I will directly go ahead with the setup of a virtual inf. To do that, I'm going to use virtual inf vinf and select my Python version equals Python 3. So what this command does is I'm going to set up a virtual environment which is called vinf, and the Python version I also specify to be Python 3. Once this command runs, this will create a new directory under our project directory, and every dependencies and packages installed will go under this directory. So before that, I need to cd into our project directory. So I'm currently in a different directory. Let me cd in it. So I'm going to cd into our project directory, and then run this virtual inf again, vinf Python version. I'm going to Python 3. So very quickly you will see we have this directory created. Our Python interpreter will reside inside this directory. If you go inside, you will see it is here. There we have a Python interpreter installed here, and all the packages will also go into here once we have installed other packages. And at the moment we can also check what other packages has been installed. To do that, we can use pip, again using our Python package manager tool, and pip freeze. This will list out all the current installed packages. So you will see, to start off, these are and now we have our vinf being created. In order to activate that environment, we'll run another command, which is source vinf bin activate, which is basically calling this, this will actually activate our Python environment. You will see after activating this, I will see an actual text on the side. And now let's check out what are the packages have already been installed inside this virtual inf. To do that, I'm going to use pip freeze. Pip freeze is a command that lists all the current installed packages. So as you can see, our freshly created virtual inf hasn't installed any packages yet. So let's install some of them. To do that, I'm going to create a file called requirements, and I'm going to put our packages in it. So one package we will definitely need to use is the OpenAI packages, where we are going to call our API through this package. To actually install this package, you're going to use this command pip install -r requirements. What this does will install all the packages specified inside this file. Let's run that. Alright, so while it's installing this OpenAI package, let's also set up our Python interpreter inside our IDE. To do that, I'm going to go to our Python interpreter. I'm going to add this interpreter, add a local interpreter, goes to the existing one. So now it has finished installation. Let's check our installed packages again using pip freeze. Okay, you see there's a bunch of packages installed. OpenAI is one of them. So what are the other packages? Those packages are the dependencies that are required for OpenAI to run. So that's why we installed a bunch of other packages, including OpenAI. Alright, so now we have our virtual ink set up, and we also have installed our first package. Now let's test out the Python, whether our Python is working. To do that, I'm going to create a very simple file and just print out hello. I will create a file. Let's call it min.py. I'm also going to use min print hello. Let's check it out. To run a Python project, to run a Python program, I'm going to use Python min.py. Alright, so the hello is correctly print. So we have everything set up, and now we're ready to do the coding. Before that, let's take a break. I will see you in a minute.